So we saw in the second chapter, of Bhagavad Gita, there Krishna says, like describes, he gives a summary of Bhagavad Gita. He says about karma yoga, he says about gnana yoga, he says about karma kanda, sankhya yoga, buddhi yoga. He says about everything, but in a brief manner. But when it comes to like no, but he doesn't go in depth into any of it. It's like a second chapter is like a summary of Bhagavad Gita. So it can be abbreviated second chapter into like first Arjuna gets bewildered and he accepts Krishna as Guru, and then Krishna explains like what is the identity of the soul. He says, no, you are not this body, you are a spirit soul. How everybody is a spirit soul and everybody is eternal. They are passing life after life, as per their karma. And then he says dualities, dualities of nature. Okay, and then he discusses about 31 to 53. What is it? Let me see. Sorry, two duties. Sorry, not dualities. What like two types of karma. No? So first, one is sakama karma yoga and another nishkama karma yoga. Sakama karma yoga is something which will actually like gives a result, but it also gives the reactions. But nishkama karma yoga, it will be working for Krishna, which working with which doesn't give any reactions. Those are the two ways in which one can perform the karma. And then at the end of the second chapter, he explains about the characteristics or the what do you call qualities of Atma Ramas, or Sita Prajna. So Krishna then, after when Krishna explained all these things, it's like almost the essence of the whatever the knowledge that is to be given, imparted to Arjuna, that has been already given. Then from here onwards, the conversation goes in such a way that, because based on Arjuna's questions, just like when a teacher is explaining something, uh, teacher may present some subject, but that when a student asks questions, that subject matter goes in depth. In the same way, here Arjuna is taking the position of a student. He is explaining about different aspects, different, uh, that goes in depth into these topics, like different kinds of yoga and about bhakti, about jnana. From now onwards, it goes like that. So at the end of second, like in the second chapter, Krishna says, like reject all the abominable actions by using buddhi yoga. Means by using this intelligence, you have to keep all the abominable actions far away, so that you will not be bound by the reactionary work. And this Arjuna takes this message so seriously, and he thinks like fighting war is like abominable, and he actually then he actually asks Krishna. He gets confused. Krishna is asking me to keep all the abominable actions far away and trying to engage me in the war. Now he is trying to persuade me to fight the war. So how like he just he gets confused. So he asks Krishna, like you are equivocal, means like I didn't understand your words, because you are in one sense you are telling that to fight the war, and the other hand you are asking me to keep all the abominable actions away. So Arjuna says, "O Janardana, O Keshava, if you think that intelligence is better than action, mm, why you want to engage me in the ghastly warfare? I am bewildered by your equivocal instruction. Therefore, please tell me decisively what is most beneficial for me. So, uh, so here then, in response to like Krishna is not telling to give up the work. Krishna is telling you should act with knowledge. You should keep away. You should keep the abominable activities, not the dharmic activities away. So that's why Krishna is stressing now Nishkama Karma Yoga to Arjuna. So in this chapter, this classification will be like this, no? Uh, like Arjuna was thinking, no, which is better? Arjuna questions, which is better, action or renunciation? Action means working. Renunciation means giving up and going to the forest. So Krishna is asking Arjuna, which is better? Action is better or renunciation is better? So from the verses 1 to 9, actually from 3 to 9, Krishna describes how renunciation is not a solution, how renunciation is not practical. And from verses 10 to 16, he explained different rungs of ladder, like how like if you cannot perform this, if you cannot perform this, perform, like means what are the uh, different levels of the consciousness or different levels of yoga ladders, no? And then even though like Arjuna is for somebody to renounce, no, so like for example, somebody to take sannyas, he should have certain qualifications. Even though Arjuna is qualified to have, even though Arjuna is qualified to renounce and to practice, this celibacy and just renounce this material world and go to forest and meditate. Even though he is qualified, he has all the pious qualities. Krishna is convincing Arjuna that he should act to set an example for the common people in general. Because if if uh, if Arjuna is renounced, Arjuna is a very famous and very powerful warrior, and he is well known throughout the like throughout the countries, throughout the world, as the best warrior, best among the warriors. Mm. If he acts like that, if he gives up his duty and goes to the forest, then everybody will think in the same lines, right? Like everybody he wants to follow the path of dharma, they will think, okay, I can give up my work and go to forest and attain perfection. So that is not Krishna wanted to establish in this world. So Krishna tried to convince Arjuna, like, you have to, even though you are qualified to renounce and go to forest, but you have to act to set an example. And then during performing action, this entire chapter is called Karma Yoga, right? During performing action, like in Karma Yoga, the greatest enemy in this greatest not in fact greatest enemy of all the yogis is lust. And Krishna describes how one should overcome this, formidable enemy, in this, from the verses from 36 to 43. So if it comes to the renounced order, so renunciation is difficult. So prescribed action with detachment or Nishkama Karma Yoga is better. So Arjuna said, "Oh Janardha, why do you want to engage me in this warfare?" Okay, and then Krishna says, perform your prescribed duties. There are different types of renunciates, right? Like, somebody can be staying in this material world, but at the same time, he can renounce his work. But somebody who can renounce the social order, like a sannyas, they can take sannyas and then they go to the forest. And then that is another kind of work. So this is what the oh, sorry. Actually, this verse is wrong. So there are different but renouncing the work is not the solution. Then how to work and what should be our goal? Krishna explains, work for the sake of Vishnu. Yagnartat karmano netra lokoyam karma bandhana tadartam karma kaunteya mukta sangha samachara. Work done as a sacrifice for Vishnu has to be done as a sacrifice for Vishnu. Otherwise, work causes bondage in this material world. Therefore, O son of Kunti, perform your prescribed duties for his satisfaction. In that way, you will always remain free from bondage. We already gave one nice example, right? How like a soldier, when he kills enemy soldiers, he is never charged for the his killing, and in fact, he will be rewarded because he is he is killing for the on the behalf of the king or the country. So in the same way, when we work anything, any activity, even eating, even getting married, even working in the office, or if you perform anything for the sake of Vishnu, means why Vishnu? Why Krishna is mentioning Vishnu? Because Vishnu is the in charge, maintenance in charge for this universe. Means this universe has creation, maintenance, and destruction. Creation in charge is Brahmaji, and then maintenance in charge is Vishnu, and destruction in charge is Krishna. Like when it comes to creation, Brahma creates everybody, everything, and Vishnu maintains so that all the religious principles are properly maintained and everybody lives in peace, and he supplies everything required as per he sees, he doesn't he upon everything is carried out under his supervision. So when we perform, Vishnu is an expansion of Krishna. Like it is said, right? Krishna is Vishnu at home, and Vishnu is Krishna at office. Okay, when Krishna come to maintain this world, he becomes Vishnu. Okay, so when we work for the sake of Vishnu, then we will be free from karma. That is the easiest way. And but Krishna says renouncing work is not recommended, because like even for the renouncing work is not practical at all, because this world is designed in such a way that a living entity will depend on other living entities. Jivo jivasya jivanam means unless one subsides on other living entity, one cannot survive only. He should either eat plants or animals, or something like that. Even there are some yogis who hardly takes, but they will take something, right? After a few years, they will take either some vegetables or something like that. But still, it is also karma. So when we perform the work for the sake of Vishnu, then we will be freed from the karma. So that is called Niskama Karma Yoga. So this Krishna is saying that inaction is unnatural, because the living entities are by nature they are forced to act. So but how to work for Vishnu? Like how to spiritualize your work, because first thing is it should be righteous, means according to the law of dharma. Like like we have what is the criteria to be like to see of if our work is righteous? We have three pramanas: sadhu, guru, and shastra. If if uh, if we have any question or concern, if my work is right, and my which mode it is, is it dharma, adharma, then we have these references. We can contact sadhu, we can contact guru, or we can refer shastras. And the results that we obtain through our work should be dedicated to Vishnu. So that way we will become free from karma. And remembrance during the work, when like during the work, or when you getting the result, you should be you able to remember that this is not for my sake, and we should be conscious of the Supreme Personality of Krishna, because that way we will be able to dedicate our efforts to Krishna. And then remaining time, like we cannot like as we said, we will not be constantly engaged in this work, right? We'll only have to dedicate certain amount of time for work, the karma. So remaining time we should be engaging in bhakti of like like hearing or performing bhakti. Now Bhakti Vinod Thakur gives a nice analogy, like in 24 hours, 8 3 24, right? 8 hours for the body and 8 hours for the what do you call, work, and 8 hours for the soul. Hmm? Body, my gross body, subtle body, and the soul. Gross body, for gross body, taking rest, taking bath, eating, everything all goes under gross body. And 8 hours for the subtle body, means like me and mine, like my work, my family, maintaining everything like that. And 8 more hours for the spirituality, means how, what, 1 minute. So I was saying that, right, how Bhaktivinoda Thakur classified it, 8 hours for this like that. Like it involves, like entire morning program or reading, everything. 8 hours for your profession, 8 hours for your body, means sleeping and taking bath, eating, everything, and 8 hours like that. It can be a little bit here and there, but that's the easiest way to spiritualize our life. Then after that, Krishna classifies the rungs of ladder, yoga ladder. He says, karma means karma kanda. We know, right? This karma has different meanings. Sometimes it means action. In some context it means action. In some context it means reaction. In some context, it is like fate or destiny, something like that. So karma or karma kanda. Karma is lowest. What is karma? Just like ordinary person who doesn't have any spiritual vision. Now previously we said karma means sakama karma, right? Now in this context, it is karma means ordinary people who are outside, who are doing action and reaction, means they are performing some action, right? That is karma. And above that is karma kanda. Karma kanda means following the rules and regulations of the Vedas. Means if I do this yagya, I will get this. If I do this yaga, if I do this vrata, like that, that is karma kanda. And above that karma kanda is sakama karma yoga. Sakama karma yoga means performing karma for like just like sakama karma yoga is something which involves to say what pious people do. They will do good, and so that they will get good results, like that. And above that, like be good and do good policy, sakama karma yoga. So if you do good, do good for the society, do good for the country, do good for the family, all the rules and regulations, all the runas, like we have to pay back for the society, we have to pay back for the family, we have to pay back for the sages. The modern day sages are scientists. So that is sakama karma yoga. And above sakama karma yoga is nishkama karma yoga, means performing our actions but giving our results for the Vishnu, or dedicating our activity for the sake of Vishnu, means maintaining our home with Lord in the center of the home, and working with the consciousness that I have to work so that I can maintain the Krishna's place. And this is not my family, this is Krishna's family. I am simply a guardian of this family. Or if you are eating, you have to first offer to Krishna, and then you have to take his remnant. That way it will become karma free. So that will lead to nishkama karma yoga. Nishkama karma yoga in one sense is also called as bhakti yoga. So nishkama karma yoga deals, what is the difference between nishkama karma yoga and bhakti yoga? Nishkama karma yoga deals only with karma. A bhakti yogi does niskama karma yoga. But the bhakti yogi, like just like Nishkama Karma Yoga means talking about a person in the office and telling him to how to work in the office. But when that person comes to home, at home, Krishna is there as his master, and he has a loving relationship as just like a father has with child, or like like a family member to another family member, like that. He will have a loving relationship with his family members. So a devotee will have a loving relationship with the Lord at his home. So this Nishkama Karma is something how to perform only work regarding that only, because Bhakti Yogi automatically does Nishkama Karma Yoga. You're following, right?
Yes.
So now, what are the different motivation? The different moods behind the religious practice. Generally, for the outside people, first motivation is fear. If I do, if I do papa means sin, then I'll get a sinful reaction. Then second motivation is material benefit. If I do this pious activity, I will get so and so result. If I do this yajna, I will go and get so and so result. No, like that. And the third motivation is duty. I'm doing this as a part of my duty. I don't care how you feel and how others feel and how I get the results also. As a duty, some people will do that. Hmm. And fourth is out of love. Okay. Now, the first thing, fear, is for karma kandis. And second is for material benefit. For who does for material benefit? Karma kandis. Okay. And third out of duty means sakama karma yogis. Hmm? And fourth out of love, it is the devotees or Nishkama Karma Yogis. You understood the right analogy? So the fear where means like if you see some people, just before the exams, they will go to temple and they say they get a deal. They say some dealings with the Lord. If I get so and so rank, I will do this sacrifice for you, like that. Means this offering for you, like that. That is out of fear. Or if you perform any sinful activities, then you go to some priest and say Shanti Homa or something like that. That is out of fear. And second category is out of material benefit. Means uh, like to get a child, or to get material benefit, to get immense wealth, or to be successful in business. You perform this yagya or this rata, you'll have good health. That is for material benefit. And third one is duty. Some devotees will be there, just for the sake of duty, they are going to temple. Every Friday evening they will go to temple, and then they spend some time there and they give some donations, and then they will do their work. That is duty. And fourth is out of love. This is what the devotees does. The devotees, they wake up early in the morning where their mind is fresh and where they can nicely focus. They do their sadhana on the morning hours, and then they lead life Krishna centered. That way they will be free from the bondage. Means that devotion, that work will won't be like forceful. If you like for suppose, if you say the question, if you ask any question, how many of you work, how many of you love your work? Hmm? Practically very hardly anyone loves their work. They are working only just because they want to get the paycheck. Hmm? But in the bhakti, we don't do like bhakti, or love doesn't is unconditional. Means like even if you get returns or not, but love is expressed through service. So, and after explaining this, Krishna says to be exemplary, because Arjuna is in leading role, right? A leader should be exemplary towards his citizens. Hmm? That's why that's why uh, Krishna says, okay, what to do, and what is good for him, like leading role to do in this situation, okay, or in any situation, any person who is in. Now, if you see, we are leaders on different levels. You might be head of the family, or you might be, or or no, either mother, father, or even child also. He's going to be head of the family, or he is representing his family in the society. So everybody can be taken, like when so Krishna is saying the kings like Janaka attained perfection solely by performing some prescribed duties. Therefore, just for the sake of educating people in general, you should perform your work. Whatever action a great man performs, a common man follows. And whatever the standard he sets by his by exemplary acts, all the world pursues. So he gives example of Janaka Maharaj. Janaka Maharaj was very pious king. He was a king at the same time. He was a Rajarshi. Hmm? He was a saintly king. So Krishna is asking Arjuna, you should actually, uh, no, you should actually do work like that, so that you actually set an example for the ordinary living, to your followers, and also at the end you attain the spiritual perfection also. So that is the way one should actually mold our life, so that they actually perform the material work as well as they don't miss the spiritual perfection. So, and then after in that section also Krishna gives, in this section, exemplary section, Krishna says like how uh, this this cycle of sacrifice also from there, it is there, but it's not so much stressed here. So sinful life without sacrifice, my dear Arjuna, a human being who does not follow the cycle of sacrifice established by the Vedas certainly leads a futile life of sin, living only for the satisfaction of the senses, indriyartha. So Krishna explains the cycle of sacrifice. How from the it's like from the sacrifice causes clouds, and clouds gives to food grains, and food grains gives the subsidy. By subsidizing on food grains, the living entities perform work, and for the satisfaction of Supreme Lord. And then Supreme Lord, you know, Supreme Lord, then he actually, when he is satisfied, he actually is. It is entire of our karma should be centered around satisfying the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna. That is the essence. Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to include something which is not I kept in the PPT. Okay. So then afterwards, Krishna explains. Okay, as I said, for a person who is in the who is acting in this material world, there he has his greatest enemy is lust. Okay, like just like it is said, everybody has a good side and bad side. Good side will be suggesting something. In a American story, it is like good dog and bad dog. In everybody house, there is good dog and there is bad dog. No, like when we have to take any decision, this good side will suggest us something. Okay, this is good, you do this way, and this bad dog will suggest, okay, don't care about anybody, and just you have to get benefited. Uh, so that is the bad dog, or the bad side of it. So in everybody's mind there is good side and bad side. Okay, so Krishna is saying what impels one, like Arjuna asked Krishna, no, O Krishna, by what one is impelled to do sinful acts, even unwillingly, as if engaged by force. No, like most of the time when we perform sinful activities, we can observe that sometimes we do something sinful without unconditionally, means like without be like as if somebody is making us to do that. It can be anything which is as not like but for that Krishna says it is lust only. Okay, this kama, lust. Lust is the enemy of the, he says, Supreme Personality of Godhead said, it is kama or the lust, only Arjuna. which is born of the contact of material modes of passion and later transformed into wrath, and which is all devouring sinful enemy of this world. Okay, we will discuss on this topic. Okay, how it will act. First origin is when the living entity sometimes comes in contact with the material creation, his eternal love for Krishna is transformed into lust, and in the association of this in association with the mode of passion. Basically, we actually define, right, that what are the characteristics of living entity. He is Sat Chit Ananda, Sachidananda. Hmm? And he's related to Krishna. He is Atma and the Krishna is Paramatma. And what is the binding factor between Atma and Paramatma? It is pure love. Pure love means bhakti, the devotional service. But when the living entity wants to enjoy independent of Krishna, and but still he has this loving tendency. But when Krishna is, but he wants to enjoy independent of Krishna. So Krishna says, okay, you go and enjoy. Then when Krishna is not there, he has to give that love to somebody. So he actually gives that love in the matter. Means when the living entity comes in contact with the material thing, then the love is transformed into lust. Hmm? And in association with the same mode of passion. So, and this lust, what is its sitting places? It is in the senses, it is in the mind, and it is in the intelligence. Okay. So this lust is on the senses. Means if you see, our senses are always pulling us to see something good, or to feel something good, or to taste something nice. uh, it can be moral or immoral. They are always dragging us. And it is in the mind. Our mind is also, when comes into contact with sense object, for suppose um, eating anything formidable, or and also forbidden, uh, and also mind thinking bad about others, something like that. No, and intelligence means making some plans which will, uh, we use intelligence in making some plans which are not as per righteous. Mm. And what does it destroy? Like what does that lust destroy? It destroys the gnana, means the right intelligence, and vijnana, the spiritual or spiritual realization also. Hmm? If unless one is free from this bad qualities, impelled by the lust, they cannot make an effort. They cannot endure in the spiritual circle. And how to conquer this lust is by regulating the senses, and understanding the higher position of the soul, and study of the scriptures, and right association. And it is said in the scripture there are different levels of covering. That is explained in the different verses here. Okay, this kept in one slide, but these are different verses. Okay, so just like, fire covered by smoke. mm, if you see sometimes, uh, there will be fire in a fire, like in the, mm, but that will be intensely will be covered by the smoke, and we cannot see the fire. We just see the smoke, and we can understand that there is fire in that because by the by the presence of smoke. And that is for the human beings. Means their lust is superficially covered and can be easily removed. Means just by, waving it off, you can see the fire, right? When the smoke is coming too much, when we wave it off, when we fan it nicely, we can see the fire. So, and the mirror is covered. Next example is just like mirror is covered by dust. Like, we are giving these examples just to see how the soul is covered by this lust. Okay, so mirror is covered by the dust. Means like birds and animals, they just act by instincts. They don't think they have which is right and which is wrong. They just go by action. Okay, so it is very difficult, compared to fire and smoke example. It is very difficult to get rid of the lust. And higher than that is embryo covered by the womb. Mm. Just like, uh, maybe like a seed covered by the embryo. Mm. So it is very difficult to get rid of the that covering. That is in exam, that is in the case of trees and plants, means they have very dull consciousness. So the more the lust covers us, our consciousness goes down and down and down. That is what Krishna is trying to speak. And one should try to get rid of that lust. And one should know that when a living entity comes in contact with material creation, his eternal love for the Lord is transformed into kama in the association of mode of passion. Or in other words, the sense of love of God.
Prabhu, your voice is breaking.
Yes, bro. It says internet connection
Prabhu,
is.
your voice is not audible because it's very going low.
Yeah, internet connection sometimes going down, bro. It's better now?
Okay.
It's better now?
It's okay now.
Okay. It is said when the living entity comes in contact with the matter, the love is transformed into lust. Okay. And then again, when karma is unsatisfied, when this, as we said, love transformed into lust, when the living entity comes in contact with the matter, and when this lust is not satisfied, because when he is in the spiritual world, the other side there was Krishna. Hmm? Krishna has ultimate potencies. He can satisfy any number of. He can nicely reciprocate it with any amount of love, and he can satisfy any number of. There is no limit for the loving reciprocation between the Krishna and his devotees. But when the same expectations are made from the matter does not have that much abilities. So when this karma, this lust is not satisfied, unsatisfied, it turns into wrath, means anger, and wrath transforms into illusion. Mm. And he this illusion continues the material existence. Okay, means like due to anger, this intelligence is lost, and when the intelligence is lost, and when the intelligence is bewildered, and he will continue in the material existence. Therefore, this lust is the greatest enemy of the living entity, and it is karma only because this is made for the Westerners. That's why they are saying as karma, because when you say lust, they may feel bad. That's why yes, it is said karma here. Okay, so the karma is the greatest enemy of the living entity, and karma only which induces the pure living entity into to remain entangled in the material world. Okay, only this lust is this only the thing that induces the living entity to remain in this world. Even if Krishna comes and says, "Do you want to come back to the material world?" No, I have a family. I have to take care of this. I have this responsibility. I have that responsibilities. We'll say that so many excuses. That's why it is so easy to get perfection in bhakti yoga. Just as to surrender to Krishna and just leave it to Krishna. That what whenever I'm fully surrendered to you, and should be always ready in that sense. Okay, so therefore the mode of passion, instead of being degraded into the mode of ignorance, is elevated to the mode of goodness by prescribed method of living, acting, and one can be saved from degradation. Means we at once cannot get rid of this lust. Okay, instead of getting rid of trying to getting rid of this lust, we have to first try to regulate it. That's why Srila Prabhupada gave us 4 regulative principles, right? No meat eating, no illicit sex, no intoxication, no gambling. Hmm? So anything that we do for our benefit or for our sake, that is called lust. But anything that we do for the sake of Krishna is called love. Okay, so by we don't have the ability to right away cut all the attachments, but we have to cut one by one by nicely following the 4 regulative principles: no meat eating, no illicit sex, no intoxication, no gambling. And the degree of the level of these 4 regulative principles should be increased to more and more and more, as we advance. We should not stay. No meat eating means only not eating animals, something like that. There are like different devotees says there are advanced versions of regulative principles also. But as we advance more and more, we can take up higher and higher. And the best way, no, like it is like when we want to achieve something, we have to prohibit something, and we have like do's and don'ts, right? Don'ts are regulative principles. No, no meat eating, no intoxication, no gambling, no illicit sex. And what are the do's? Hmm? Like it is said, anartha nivruti and artha pravruti. Anartha nivruti means what are the impediments that are causing me, that are dragging me down? I have to get rid of that. And artha pravruti. Okay, what else? What are the do's? We first spoke about don'ts. Okay, I will not do that don'ts. And then what should I actually do? Means Shrunvatam Sokatam Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana Hrudayantastu Abhadrani Vidunoti Sahurstatam. Means what we are to do, as one hears more about Krishna from the Bhagavatam and from the devotees, he becomes fixed in devotional service. By development of devotional service, one becomes freed from the mode of passion and ignorance, and thus material lust and avarices are diminished. When these impurities are wiped away, the candidate remains steady in his position of pure goodness and becomes enlivened by devotional service and understands the science of God perfectly. Thus, Bhakti Yoga serves the severs the hard knot of material affection and the fruitive activities, and thus enable one to come at once to the stage of understanding the supreme personality, supreme absolute truth, personality of Godhead. So that is stated in Srimad Bhagavatam. So just by hearing Krishna's glories and glorifying Krishna and engaging ourselves in different ways of Navavida Bhakti, 9 process of devotional service, we can gradually win over this lust. That is the essence. Okay. So what I say, Vishaya Vinivartante Niraharasya Dihinam Rasavarjam Rasopyasya Param Drushva Nivartate. So we have to develop higher taste. The embodied souls may be restricted for the sense enjoyment. Through the taste of sense, taste for sense objects remains. But seizing such engagements and by experiencing the higher taste, he is fixed in his consciousness. By changing our consciousness, not only living for the sake of senses and sense gratification, by following this process of bhakti that we discussed, no? Shranatam Sakatam Krishna means just by performing different ways of bhakti, hearing about Krishna, chanting, regularly chanting, and doing our sadhana, and engaging ourselves in seva, uh, and reading scriptures. By doing all those things, we will develop higher consciousness, higher level of consciousness. Because if you see the what is the difference between animals and us is only the consciousness. Animals only go by the instincts. If he gets hungry, he eats. If he gets a sexual pleasure, he engages in sex with anybody. Nobody. He doesn't think who is around and who is it my sister or my mother. He doesn't care anything, and he engages in sex. And if he somebody comes to somebody threatens his, then he'll immediately fights with his jaw, teeth and claws. So like eating, sleeping, mating, defending, these are the 4 basic things that animals also can do. But by intelligently using our consciousness, by intelligently using our free will, using our intelligence, when we engage ourselves in different process of devotional service, then we'll develop a higher taste. We'll develop a sense of the higher purpose for which we have to aim. That can be developed only through regularly engaging ourselves in the process of devotional service. So that is for today. This is the entire third chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So if you have any questions or comments, you can take from here. Anything, Prabhu? Haribo?
Prabhu,
Yes, Prabhu.
so you said we need to glorify the Krishna always somewhere. But so when you are in the family world, there are a lot of agitations will come into picture. There are so many obligations, so many responsibilities. Mind is will be agitated, and how to concentrate only on Krishna?
Prabhu, if you say now, like we have to first, there are different levels, Prabhu. If you take Arjuna's example, he actually agrees to Krishna's words and then he starts fighting. And he doesn't, every time he throws an arrow, he doesn't remember Krishna. And every time he faces an enemy, he doesn't remember Krishna. He knows the first thing that he is working for Krishna. And when he is working, that is he does that karma as karma yoga. So when you are in the family, when you are maintaining the family, the first principle that you have to start your day is by saying that I am working for Krishna. Hmm? And as I said previously, you have to plan your day nicely. First thing, you have to do morning program. Like I said, right, 8 hours policy. Okay, like this is not by me; it is by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. He says 8 hours you give to your work. Next 8 hours you give to your job. No, sorry, 8 hours you give to your body means taking rest or eating or all these bodily activities. You finish off in 8 hours, and next 8 hours you give your work. All the works are for only for 8 hours, right? And
Yes.
next 8 hours for this spiritual practice. This spiritual practice includes your chanting, your reading, your hearing. eh? There are 9 ways of bhakti, right? Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Swaranam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmanivedanam. So we have to perform seva, we have to perform sadhana, we have to read scriptures, and we have to take a nice association of devotees, like-minded devotees. That way, we engage ourselves in spirituality and progress in our spiritual life without any impediments.
Okay.
So you don't focus on controlling these agitations because you are in the ocean. These waves, this ripples or waves will come and go. No, you just have to. The only thing is you you have to be connected to Krishna somehow or other, or remembering Krishna by somehow or other.
Okay.
When you have that ultimate purpose, why you are working this to maintain not my family, Krishna's family. And why you are going to temple? No, so that I can hear about Krishna. Why you are meeting devotees? So that I can discuss about Krishna. I can hear from them about Krishna. Hmm? And also you have to do japam. There are prescribed methods, right? Prabhupada gave us entire morning program. Do Mangalarti and then chant your rounds and do Guru Puja like that. So it's nicely designed. Prabhupada nicely designed so that we perform all the 9 processes of devotion service without fail.
Okay.
Because even following any of the process of devotion service, even by chanting, even by we can achieve perfection. But being in the Kali Yuga, we need this change. Otherwise, our mind cannot focus for long. Hmm? There are some Babajis in Vrindavan, they only chant all day long. They have that capacity. But we are in this material world, where we are working, dealing with a lot of material affairs. Our mind needs change. So you chant for some time, then you do worship, deity worship, and also you do some service, either in family or either in home or in the temple. Hmm? So we engage ourselves in different activities which are related to Krishna. That way, that is the easiest way of spiritualizing our life.
Yes, Prabhu.
Anything
Thank
else,
you.
bro? Any more questions, bro? Okay, we'll end it here. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भगवद गीता की जय, श्री प्रभुपाद
Yeah.
की जय, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय.
Yeah. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you.
हरे कृष्ण.
Hare Krishna.